Hi, I'm Margaret Martin, and this video is specifically for you individuals that have spent very little time on a ball. And I really love ball workouts, and not that all your workouts should be on the ball, but it's a really nice break from working on weights and a great way to build more core stability through the shoulders and your inner core. So join me and let's have some fun. Now, you might have noticed I'm going to just start with a little gentle bounce, but my feet are not coming off the ground at all. I'm keeping my toes down, my heels are coming up, and it's just a really gentle side to side. I have placed a rolled yoga mat behind me. So you see a bit of the blue back there. And then I have a couple of cushions beside me. I'm not going to need the side cushions. I will use the yoga mat for something later. And this is something that you might want to consider. Just feel a little safe if the ball starts to go a little too far to the right or to the left. It's your safety check. All right. So we've been doing this little heel lift for the last minute. So now let's make it a little bit more exciting. And we're going to bring feet together, feet apart. Now, we're not going to take the bounce with us. We're just going to go feet together, feet apart. And I want you to focus on when your feet go out to the outer edges of your mat, that your knees are also going out to the outer edges of your mat. A lot of people will bring their feet, but not their knees, and they'll end up like this. So to train the muscles in your hips, to abduct and externally rotate, 2 more. Good. And then feet straight ahead. Feet and knees hip width apart. You're sitting nice and tall. And we start working as though we are pulling a tug of war rope. So we're just pulling hard. The effort is not in the forward, but it's in the back. Pulling. And 3 more. 2. And now that rope is hanging from the ceiling and we're reaching up. Good. And 3 more. 2 and 1. Awesome. And let's bring the arms up, palms up, shoulder blades gently tucked, and windshield wipers. So just warming up the upper body, preparing for the workout ahead. Awesome. And sweeping the arms down. Arms down by our side, reaching out so it gives you a little bit more stability. Heel forward, back, heel forward, back, heel forward, back. We're going to do a couple more. And last 2. Good, awesome. So now with hands in front of us, we're going to do opposite hand and foot. Press and press. Good, keep tall. Nice. Throughout all of this, last one, you should always feel really stable, really secure. Now, a little harder version is same arm and same leg. Press and pull, press and pull, press and pull, press and pull, press and pull. And last 2. Nice job. All right. Now for a little more balance work. Arms back down. We can open our palms to the sky to really open up through the chest. And we're looking to balance with 1 foot in the air. So depending on how flexible your hamstrings are, you might find you can lift it a little or a lot and then back down. Now, something I failed to mention, so let's do it this time. Breath in. Exhale, gently tighten your pelvic floor, shifting the weight to the opposite foot. That tightening of your pelvic floor is working your inner core. Really important to keep that and help you stay stable. So it's that nice tightening, lifting up. And we'll use that whenever you're looking for more stability. All right, so hopefully you're feeling a little bit warmed up. And we're going to take the ball. We're going to bring it right around in front of us. Now, that yoga mat that's behind, we're going to bring it and place it underneath the knees. So just make sure If you find it uncomfortable to have pressure on your knees, place the yoga mat so it's underneath your shins. And being underneath your shins, you won't have any pressure on the kneecap itself, but it's going to allow you to get comfortably into position. All right, placing the ball really close as you kneel nice and tall. The ball comes in close, and we want the weight off of your ribs and onto your pelvis. So hands come well forward. All right, feet and knees are hip width apart. All the toes engaged into the floor. Elbows are bent and pointing towards the ball. Shoulder blades gently tucked. So your whole body's nice and straight. And we take a nice relaxed breath in. Exhale, transfer your weight onto both hands and your left foot as your right foot lifts up to the height of your hip, or as high as you're comfortable to get it, and back down. And up for 2. Now we're going to contract many more muscles if we think about the muscle that we're working. And so we're thinking of squeezing our glute and not just lifting the leg, but as you lift the leg, good glute squeeze and back down. And 5 more on that leg. And 4. Thinking about that nice squeeze. 2. And last one. Now, when I talk to the camera, I do tend to bring my head up, but in this exercise, let's switch to the opposite side. Always think long through the back of your neck. So lifting the first, heel reaching to the wall behind you. Down and blow as you lift. Inhale down. And exhale, lift. And with every exhalation, there's a little gentle tightening of your pelvic floor. It would be equivalent to about 20% of a full Kegel. And so you're just looking to have the assistance and support of your pelvic floor muscles without engaging them to their maximum. So we have 5 more, remembering back to what we were doing on the opposite leg where we're squeezing the butt cheek, thinking of engaging every butt muscle fiber as we lift and we draw our heel to the wall behind us. And last 2. And last 1. Good job. Now, if you need a little break from resting on your hands, I know a lot of people find that challenging, then I'm going to invite you just to take that break. If you find resting on the forearm onto the hand difficult, I'm going to give you a couple options because we are going to go back there and put more weight on one individual hand at a time as we lift the opposite. So let's go forward. Now, option 1 is to fold up a mat or a towel and have it placed so that when your hands are resting, you have more padding underneath the little finger and thumb, and so there's less extension of the wrist. So that is one option. And a second option that works for some people is to have their hands on dumbbells. So they're resting more neutral through the dumbbells. And the third one is actually to have just straight on your knuckles, like this. And so whichever option works best for you, please use that today. And let's go into our arm lifts. So nice breath in. And just as we did with the legs, we're planning ahead. We're transferring the weight to both feet and to the left arm. Right arm is going to reach up to 90 degrees, out to the side, height of the shoulder, and back down. Breath, and up for 2. All the while you're engaging your pelvic floor, you exhale as you lift. think about the muscles between your shoulder blade and your spine. You're pulling them in so that shoulder blade is drawn in towards the spine as you lift. And let's do 3 more. And 2. And 1 more. Now let's take that exact same move to the opposite side. Engage your feet well. Transfer the weight now onto the right wrist. Great weight bearing for the arms. You don't want the only weight bearing to be when you catch yourself falling. So you want to start building strength in the ability to hold yourself. 2, awesome. Keeping that elbow soft as you lift, so no locking of the elbow, nice and soft. The pointy bit of your elbow is pointing towards the ball. When I say pointy bit, it's the bone of the olecranon of the arm. And just as we did on the other side, shoulder blade is tucking in. And you're doing great. Shoulder blade towards spine, lovely. And down. All right, 1 more arm lift on each side. This time we're lifting at a 120-degree angle. So the arm is coming up in an angle outside of the upper part of your mat. 1. And 2. And 3. And once again, if you are not used to putting weight through your wrists for long periods of time, you can use the strategies that I talked about. And I believe we have just a couple more. So let's go for 2 more. That's it, lovely. And let's go for 8 on the opposite side. And 2. And just as we were thinking earlier about drawing shoulder blade to spine, now we're thinking more of the muscles over the shoulder blade and their job in lifting the arm up. Good. And we got 2 to go. These are tough, but they're very good for strengthening the upper back and shoulder. Lovely, nicely done. So we're going to roll right back onto our knees. And from here, we're going to give our arms a little break and take the ball right up to the wall. So the ball is going to be in the small of your back. And I'm actually going to remove the props. Yep. You'll just cut this little part. So with the ball in the small of your back, feet hip width apart. And if you've started with the beginner level in exercise for better bones, this will be familiar to you in your squat. We're going to do the first 5 with even weight through both feet. So shoulder blades are rolled back. We're going to think tall, sit under the ball. So butt is going under the ball. And you're thinking tall the whole while. We're holding. And then pressing into the floor as we come back up without locking our knees. Breath in. And exhale, coming down. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pushing the floor away from you. Good. Now this is a longer hold than many of us will tend to do, but it allows you to build some resistance and endurance in the thigh muscles without as much strain on the knee with repeats. Now push into the floor, lovely, coming up. We're going to do this twice more. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and push. Good, and this next one is our 5th one. And down. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now what I'm going to invite you to do is to take one foot, place it in the center of both legs. The second foot is coming behind you. So you're going to have, okay. So what I'm going to invite you to do now is to transfer 10% more weight onto the left leg. Chest stays high. Nice breath in. And we're going to do 3 with more weight on that left leg. You're going to feel it working hard. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And push. Breath in. And exhale, coming down. And this is a really nice exercise for those of you who might be recovering from a hip or knee or ankle injury. And press. And the side that you haven't been focusing on is the side that I want you to start transferring more weight. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and up. Good. For the next 3, we're transferring 10% more weight to the opposite side. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, down. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and press. And down. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and press. Good. Remembering to keep those shoulder blades tucked back. Palms open. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because when we exercise, that's when we want to be moving in a way that we don't get to move very often during the day. That tends to be a lot more forward. All right, we're going to take the ball right down to the floor and do a few hip raises. So remembering when we go down to the floor, we always go down on our shoulder and then we roll over. So down on the shoulder, rolling over, we place the ball underneath our calves. Palms are turned upward to the sky. Shoulder blades are tucked underneath you. Feet and knees hip width apart. Nice breath in. We're rising up for 2. 1 and 2. And lengthening your tailbone down between. Rising up for 2. And lengthening your tailbone down towards the ball as you come down. Good. And up for 2. Eight more. Now, if the intensity as you're lifting is feeling a little bit too strong, then by all means roll a little bit more ball underneath you. Breath. And up. And 2. And down. And 2. But if as you do this, you're feeling, well, actually, maybe that's a little bit too easy, then you can invite a little bit more leg or a little less leg, because the ball's going to be a little further away from you as you lift up, 2, and down, 2. Your goal is by the time we get to 10, so we have 5 more to go, that you feel like, I am so glad this exercise is over because I am done. This is really tough. And that is the objective. You want to be working hard through your strength exercises. And we call it progressive strength training because you get to progress. You get to roll that ball a little bit further every week, maybe every 3 weeks, when you feel strong enough. And we got 1 more to go. Breath and lift. And no need to lift any higher than this straight line that you create between shoulder, hip, and knee. Those hamstrings are going to want a nice, delicious stretch. So let's just roll it right in and stretch out. Now, some of you, depending on your flexibility of your hamstring, you might find that just stretching out at this level is a delicious stretch. And so just respect where you're at. Maybe pointing your toes feels better. Maybe pulling a little flex in. And let's just do 1 more on this side. And then we're going to take it to the opposite side. Breath and up. and 2,